for just 1 week when you lost 3 pounds. So in the first week, you lost 3 pounds on this, right?
That is correct.
Your GLP-1 is a natural hormone that's in every single one of our bodies. And your GLP-1 lets you know if you're full. It's a satiety hormone. So when your GLP is working properly, it does help suppress your appetite as well as reduce those cravings. It's a sugar-free fast melt caramel. So what it's going to do best is it's going to reduce your sugar cravings or any other cravings you have in your body. It's going to suppress that appetite. But where Melissa got the most benefit, I think, over the last week was the L-carnitine. The L-carnitine tells your mitochondria, this is where you make, we've talked about it before, this is where you produce energy in your cells. It actually tells those mitochondria to burn fat for fuel. We're noticing other people losing up to 7 pounds in the first week. 4 pounds has been about the average. As you lose weight and as you take these Bella Melts, it's going to help lower that blood sugar in your body as well.
All the information is there. MelissaHouseBG.com, MelissaHouseBG.com. Just now introducing for the first time Bella Melt with GLP-1 Fast Action.
Happy Monday. Welcome to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today on this very Monday that is not shy to be a Monday, and I will get to that in a minute. We are live on worldviewtube.com, worldviewtube, Rumble, and X account, also worldviewtube app, which is available for free on your app store. We're also live on X America News, live on my platforms on X, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and Substack. Join the conversation. It is me and you today, and we can talk. There are a few things I need to say and cover before we even get to the topic, which split itself because when I originally put the show together and created the streams, the topic was something and then something else popped up. So anyways, we'll get to it. Part of me is my brain is just literally racing because I sat here 2 minutes before airtime, barely made it. And as kindly as Thomas said, better late than never. So I'm glad I made it, but my brain is still trying to make it to the show. I did send a memo that we made it to the show, but brain is scattered. So bear with me. The most important thing I want to address today, I want to say I'm very grateful for all of you. Every single one of you who've been here for 11 years now, through different platforms, comments, shares, likes, donations, purchases, financial supports, all of it. I'm always grateful. No matter what comes tomorrow, I'm always grateful. However, I am at a point, I don't know if it's my age, I don't know if it's the fact that I'm exhausted, I don't know what it is, and I quite frankly don't care what has caused this. But as of yesterday, on all of my platforms, all of them, I have made an announcement that now I will make also on this stream on my show. We're going to operate on a zero tolerance policy. Zero. From yesterday on platforms, from right now on this show, and moving forward on all broadcast, disrespect, self-promotion, fake narrative, twisted facts, or flat out lies will not be tolerated. I will not give you a warning. I will not nicely nod and say what's your language. I will immediately remove and block you. And I want to be very clear here, though I'm very grateful for all the support. However, your paid subscriber status does not exclude you from this policy. I have had it. I am not going to tolerate it. I will not close my comment section because that's very unfair to the majority who are great, who always give me words of encouragement. They got great debates. They bring facts. They sometimes teach me things. But I will block those who try to distract the conversation, who try to be disrespectful to me or to others. We can have debates. We can have discussions related to the topic of the show. If you show up with something that has nothing to do with the topic, that tells me you're trying to distract my audience from the conversation, which means block. That being said, those of you who have not yet picked up a copy of my book, or maybe you just came across this channel by accident, you can pick up your copy of The Architecture of Jihad on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback format. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read the book for free. And if you like a signed copy, you can get those on my website, liveuptofreedom.com. That's liveuptofreedom.com. It has been an amazing journey, though we just started the journey. It hasn't even been a month since the book has been published, but it has definitely made a huge difference in my life. It has opened my eyes into what I kept saying, what else can I do? What else I can do? Seems like writing is definitely one of the things that I can take a little bit more serious, either in format of Substack or books or booklets or pamphlets. So that is happening. I'm going to pick up on writing way more often than I did in last 11 years. With that also, I'm gonna have to stop some of the other activities. None are related to my activities. I'm gonna have to figure out a way, which Lord will provide, but I will be dropping some of the production work I do behind the scene, because again, for example, today I don't like to have to rush through what's important. And with everything that has been going on in last couple of weeks, I feel like it's not about me. It's not that I'm more important, but what I carry, the message I need to get out there is very important, way more important than, I guess, somebody else having a good production quality of a show, especially if the message does not align, then it's already given. Hey, William, so good to see you on Facebook. Christine, great to see you on X. Good afternoon to you as well. Pat, how you doing? You have too many haters on Facebook. Oh, you should check out my Substack private messages. Good afternoon, Tennessee girl. Always good to see you. Let's check on our Substackers quickly. Lori, great to see you. And Elise, good to see you. Teresa, always good to see you. Skip, good to see you. And hello to you as well. I don't know if Sherry is with us or not. Yep, there she is. Hi, Sherry. I was able to open your package, and I will be sending you a picture of it. Guys, Sherry sent me a gift. It touched me so deeply. It is gorgeous. It is so me. And it has now, its home is in my bedroom, right on top of my dresser. It made my day. I know on the last show I told you that I have picked up the gift, but I haven't opened it yet. But over the weekend, I had the chance to open it, and it is so adorably me. I love it. Appreciate you very much. Hey, Don, good to see you. Don says, I gave a copy of your book to my pastor yesterday, and he received it with gladness. Oh, I am so grateful. Thank you. I hope it can help him in areas that he may not necessarily be well versed on, because that's the purpose. That is the purpose. Hey, Sage. Good to see you. Thank you. Yes, I would like to think I know my stuff. And that's exactly one of the reasons we have the new boundaries, or better yet, the zero tolerance policy. It's like, don't. One thing I will sit here and proudly say is I did not come to the scene until I had all of my ducks in a row, as you would say. So when somebody tries to jam a comment section of a serious topic that I have put on table factually and use a twisted propaganda with a scream tone of writing, then it's a no-go. It's a no-go. I don't publish. When I publish, I include the receipt. I don't go based on, my grandma said, my good friend across the street told me, I read it on somebody's X account, somebody else Googled it. I don't do that. So if you're going to counter anything I write, I welcome it. But counter it with fact. not something you Googled and I can see the copy paste of your Google. Because then, again, you show me that you're not here to learn. You're here to either distract or push your propaganda. Neither are welcome on my platforms. And I want to say something that was mistakenly mistranslated by a good friend. When I say my platforms, no, I am by far the smallest fish in this tank of social media, and I'm very proud of it. But those of you who've been with me for the last 11 years know that I started from zero, and I built what is there today piece by piece by myself. No sponsors, no big donors to boost marketing and advertising. Like, remember when I put out how much Daily Wire spent in 1 year just running ads on Facebook for Candace Owen, who turned around and actually spit in their face? I didn't have, and I still don't, and I would not want to have any of that not organic ways of growing. So yes, I am proud of my platforms. Yes, I am very grateful that Lord has blessed me with the size of the platform I have. At the same time, I understand that because these platforms were built solely based on the fact that I told the truth and I did my very best to follow Lord's guidance, I will not allow otherwise in it. It's not about free speech. Free speech, believe it or not, does have limitations. Actually, freedoms have limitation. Just a heads up to my Substackers, paid Substackers, my very first pamphlet of 30 pages, digital pamphlet, or you can call it digital booklet, will be out soon. And it is exactly this very topic where I do address where freedoms ends. Because it seems like most of my fellow Americans have no understanding that, yes, freedoms do have limits, and there's a place where it ends, either through biblical point of view or through Constitution of America point of view. There is a limit. And one of those limits when it comes to free speech, at least as we're talking, you cannot use your freedom of speech to be a threat to others. Unless the threat that is being created from that practice is factual. For example, when I sit here and I tell you that existence of Islamic movement inside America shall be stopped, yes, that's a threat against Islamic movement. But factually, I show proof why it needs to be stopped. I don't walk around and say, Israel this, Jews that, Israel this, Jews that, BB this, Jews that, without a shred of evidence, except what I have taken from Google, mainstream media, or reporters of Gaza. Those aren't facts. Those are rumors that are not being, if you fact check them, you come to realize they don't exist, or at best, they're half-truth. So I will not allow those. And as I said, it doesn't matter. I had a private conversation with Lori on my Substack last night, and I'm sure she doesn't mind me bringing it up, where I was clarifying a situation where I have supporters who support me for my fight against Islam. End of a story. They would not support me on other aspects. And those are the people that fight everybody. Those are the people that are, let's fight Islam. Jews shouldn't exist. Judaism is terrible. We should hang all atheists. We should kill all gays. Those people. That's why I am more than happy to block them, remove them, and not giving them a platform, especially when they come around and try to do what? Use my platform to push their narrative, more specifically when it comes to Jews. It's just the way it is. Perfect. I just got the link I needed. Okay, that was all I had to say for the intro of the show. And with that, let's go take our first ad break. When we come back, we're going to touch on the first topic. I'm going to check on your comments, and we're just going to keep rolling until time's up. Be right back, guys.
Life is too short to spend a single moment spinning in laundry worries. Take a load off your mind with the all-new Norwex Powerzyme laundry detergent. This natural detergent harnesses the power of enzymes and plant-based surfactants to leave fabrics fresh and clean without fillers, brighteners, synthetic fragrances, bleach, or harsh chemicals. So go ahead, have your cake and eat it too. More than ever, stressful stains have met their match. Powerzyme's fast-acting enzymes break down organic substances while natural surfactants loosen locked-in dirt and oil, removing residue, stains, and odors with ease. With 91% bio-based ingredients, this dermatologist-tested hypoallergenic formula is suitable for sensitive skin types and delivers a safe and effective clean that won't harm you or the planet's waterways. Less time spent worrying about laundry means you can focus on what truly matters. Norwex Powerzyme Laundry Detergent. Discover the power of nature and load up on confidence.
Welcome back to Live Up to Freedom. Thank you so much for being here. I feel like I have not done a proper read for Norwex in a while, so let me do that. For those of you who might be new or not been here for a while, Norwex is a company that I've been using for now close to 10 months. I have switched over pretty much majority of my products, especially when it comes to cleaning supplies, to any cloth, from cleaning cloth, dusting, windows, glasses, all of them. Also my personal use of shampoo, conditioner, body scrub, face scrub, skincare, all of them. Reasons are, number one, it is 100% chemical free, so I can feel the difference where my house doesn't smell chemically cleaned, but rather clean. Secondly, because most of their products last so long, I'm actually saving money on product, including laundry detergent and dish detergent and all of that. And last but not least, I'm officially a consultant of Norwex, where I have a URL, cyruswellness.com. That's cyruswellness.com. If you go to cyruswellness.com and pick up any of their products, that I strongly suggest you do, you support me financially because a percentage of your purchase will be commissioned to me as a consultant. So check them out. I promise you, if you don't send me a thank you email, you'll definitely appreciate the product and how much it's going to make your life a lot easier and a lot healthier while saving you money. Okay, I will come to your comments in a minute, but I want to make sure we do this. So as I said, which we will still touch on that, but I had a plan for the show. We're going to discuss this and that, and then I don't know the exact time, but at some point happens this morning, it picks up that President Trump put out a post. Woo! Like, I don't know how many people sent it to me, but it was like, suddenly everybody's like, I'm going to send this to Annie. Here, look what he just posted. Can we put up that AI image? Yes, that was apparently posted by Trump. Now, some people are saying he removed it. Some say he didn't. Doesn't matter. But I looked at the image originally before even getting into what's happening. I looked at the image. I'm like, it's Trump. Genuinely, that was my reaction. It's Trump. Why are people sending this to me all shocked? Or some saying, what do you think of this? Is there a message inside that AI image? Absolutely. I mean, it would take an absolute blind not to see it. Or it would take a possible selective denial to not see the point. But for me, I'm neither offended nor am I going to brush it off. I'm like, come on, people, it's Trump. Genuinely, we've heard and seen worse. Do you remember when his son flat out word by word said, we, himself and his father, we saved God, we saved Christianity? Do you remember that? Like, you've heard that. Why is this image all rattling? But then I came to realize, well, hold on. You got to think of it this way. We're in America, and one way or another, a breath from Trump needs to create a much bigger reaction than anybody else will ever receive in the world, not just America. So, okay, let's dig into what's happening. Of course, first are the main big names of accusing him of blasphemy and, his saying his Jesus Christ and all of that. And then, of course, there are those groups saying, no, this is not what it is. But then me being me, I'm like, well, let's see what Trump himself has to say about it. So let's listen to what Trump had to say about this specific image. Let's roll that clip.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and it had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's
He
going
has
through
cancer.
some very serious cancer treatment, so
Yes, sir.
this goes a long way.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
Now, this is what I'm going to talk about. The image itself, take it however you want. But this response is what I would prefer to talk about. Because he thinks that image is him as a doctor with a Red Cross uniform, apparently. Now, how do you do that, President Trump? Are you referring to that little cute nurse at the bottom of your hand? So if you're a doctor, shouldn't she be helping you rather than all those hollow lights of healing coming out of you? Or why do we even have any kind of war? Like, you can't claim that you're trying to tell people you heal. First of all, you make people feel better. Red Cross gets activated and involved when a war, mainly when a natural disaster or a war breaks out. If you are part of this war, you could be the general or the commander-in-chief, as we would say, not the doctor. So, President Trump, I will not talk to you in a tone I normally do. What I will say is, number one, I have always been praying for you, especially during your second term. But here's the problem. Most people who do not have specific feelings toward you, like me, neutral, we don't praise you as our savior, and we don't hate you as Antichrist. We're in the middle of the road. We acknowledge you're a man, flawed just like the rest of us. I will talk to you from that point of view, and I say, I am aware that you enjoy the attention. You purposely say things and do things and post things to get the reaction you got today. Or you might play it off as cool, but we all know why you did what you did. I will also say that unfortunately, you should get a little bit more detail before saying that, because it wasn't the fake news that only got that message from that picture. It was a huge number of social media users, including your own followers on your own through social, that bombarded your own post that you posted. These are the times that I personally come on my show or on my Substack and say, President Trump is a little questionable when it comes to morals and values. Your response to your post is my reason, not your post. I want to be very clear. Your post to me was, it's Trump. Exactly that. He does what he does when he needs to be done to get the reaction and the action and algorithm to put himself back on, even if it's in the most of the time, let's be honest, 90% of the time Trump's name trending, 90% of the time it's controversial, one way or another. But your response was a very irresponsible response to a very irresponsible action, sir. Some can cover up for you. I have seen some saying, no, that what he's wearing is Pope's, outfit or whatever we call it, uniform. Okay. Again, It was a responsible action, yes, but your response is what made it worse. If you would have agreed with those who are trying to cover up for you by saying, you know, I'm in middle of a feud with Pope now, apparently, and I'm not a fan of the Pope. So I was doing that, showing him how a Pope should be. At least that would match with your side of people who are covering up for you. No one, and I repeat, no one from the TDS of, derangement syndrome, nor the TDS of defense syndrome, or those of us in the middle of the, nobody saw you as a doctor from a Red Cross. So when you come out with that answer, you clarify what I was thinking from the beginning of seeing this message. You're looking for more controversy. You're looking for more camera. Apparently, we just started the Strait of Hormuz blockade or blockade of the blockade. So there isn't enough for you to get on camera to talk. So let's create something else. So that's where I stand with your post and your explanation. And I want to encourage you guys, go to Worldview Tube. Brandon House, unfortunately my day was so packed, I missed his radio, but I knew he's covering this on his radio. I'll listen to it when I finish up here, but he just published an article on it. The Catholics' hypocrisy over Trump's religious imagery. I literally scanned through it quickly during the ad break, and I think these are great points. Now, he addressed the image itself. I addressed the response, so two different sides of the coin, but seems like it is definitely two sides of the same coin between where my head is at and Brannon says. So go read that article by Brannon on Worldview Tube, The Catholic Hypocrisy Over Trump's Religious Imagery. Again, and that's the funny thing. I agree with the hypocrisy he's pointing out here. But again, that's just something Brannon can talk about. I wouldn't dare go there. So, hey, Pookie, good to see you. I just saw that apparently YouTube is giving you a hard time, so I'm glad you moved to Rumble over here. Because, okay, let's see what you guys have to say about this specific topic before we move to other things, Trump and possibly rest of the planet. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you. Christine, that's a great point. Do I have time to clean? Yes. Oh, so since I used Norwex, my cleaning time has definitely shrunk, but I am that person. Right before whatever time it is, it does not matter. It can be 10 p.m., it can be 2 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Before I go to bed, I have to clean my house. It's been my thing. It's always my thing that I have to clean. Goes back to my lovely grandma, right? What if you go to bed, you don't wake up next morning and people find you? What do you want them to walk into? A mess? Or a clean house that matches your peaceful death. So with that being said, it has always been part of my life. No matter what, before I go to bed, I clean house. And then in the morning, while I'm making my coffee and feeding the cats, I quickly do the dusting because, you have cats. Those of you who have cats, you understand how overnight dusting by the morning is needed. So yes, I do clean, but thanks to Norwex, it takes me a lot less time and effort to clean. And Elise says Brandon's article about that was a spot on. Exactly. Go read again. I'm pretty good at fast reading. I love every point he made there. Despite Trump's ego, I think Trump was taking a dig at the Pope. Annalise, that's Annalise's take. When I shared it, I captioned the article with, "You who say, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou commit adultery, ? First, remove the beam that is in your own eyes." Oh, you talk about the article by Braden. Yes, and that's the thing. I did not address the image at all, because again, to me, yes, I can dig a lot of hypocrisy from so many different sides out of it. Many, right? I would. Like, here's one. Every fake news or mainstream who's, offended by this, I could tell them, like, how come you're not offended by every single imam across America who's literally denying Christ as who he is, right? But that was the point. The image itself and the reaction to the image for me is secondary, maybe third level of importance of what happened. His own response, as I addressed earlier, not to repeat myself, is where my head was at. Is that really believable? I mean, a doctor, Deborah, it did not depict him as a doctor. Exactly. See, this is why I love you guys. Lori says, unbelievable. His narcissism is malfunctioning big time. Oh, Lori, I sometimes feel like you should actually, all of these comments you make on my post or on my show, sometimes I'm like, this can make a great book. Just like comebacks. They're amazing. Yes, that is true. Yours is the best analysis I have heard so far, Annie. Well, thank you, Deborah. I tend to be that person when everybody focuses on one angle. I tend to pay attention to the other angle that's being heavily missed, because that's always the one that's getting the most attention is always the most irrelevant to what the issue is about. So I have trained myself. Yes, Jan, we should keep praying for President Trump, regardless of what we feel or think of him. He is in charge of our country right now. So prayers are the best first step before the rest of the steps coming. Guys, we're due for our next ad break, which is my favorite ad break time because I get to dance over here and get my energy back up. Let's go do that, and then we'll come back and continue reading your comments and get into the rest of the conversation. Be right back. Well, hello everybody, it's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my artist studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. Finish this painting, but I'm sure, or at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com. Like to live up to freedom? Yes, lutfstudio.com is where you can pick up my art pieces, handmade by myself, all products used, including the mold and the wipes and the gloves, everything made in USA. And I am happy to say that I have finished few new pieces. And soon I'll be listing those. Exciting! lutfstudio.com. Use promo code MISSION for 10% off, and that way you support what I do financially, which I need greatly. Who doesn't? Hey, Shanti. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that you come. I'm the person you come to for information. I greatly appreciate that. I barely use Google. I use Brave and Proton. No commercial rubbish. I don't use any of them. Like every single search engine has been infiltrated. Well, they were originally biased, but now they're like so heavily biased that I use them to counter them. That's my use of them, but I don't use any of those. I don't use them. I have people, like each genre, I have a person that I call and get my information from. Or there are books. Like I don't know. I have given up on anything online. Hey Zach, good to see you. I am mad the Islamic regime is still in power. The army really needs to turn around and fight the mullahs. We'll get to that in a minute. And yeah, looks like you all kind of sort of are on the same page as far as that situation goes. Yes, and I agree that it doesn't help when Paula White is feeding Trump's ego and is the spiritual, guide. Like, who would do that? But exactly, that's why I'm like, I'm not shocked. It's Trump, Paula White literally compared him to Christ a few weeks ago. And he didn't mind it. So, yes, Stevie, I wrote a piece on TDS, the two-way TDS. It's a Substack. It's free to public if you want to read it. When I went over that, there are definitely two sides to the coin of TDS. There is the derangement syndrome, and then there's the defense, because Trump can do no wrong. And whatever he does, there is an excuse or a bigger picture. Matt says, how do you feel about Soleimani Afshar? Soleimani, her daughter, and other Iranians displaying debauchery and hypocrisy. Oh, this is new to you guys. We've known about it. I mean, we've known about it for decades. We've known about mullahs and judges who, or even morality police who kill people like Mahsa Amini, their daughters, nieces, sons. Oh, you should go to LA. So many of their sons, we call them Aghazadeh in Farsi. They're called Aghazadeh. There's actually a TV show about it. Pretty good. But yes, this hypocrisy, this double standard is nothing new to us. The only reason some of them are being identified and now green cards revoked is thanks to Iranian Americans constantly tracking them, reporting them. Basically, we're doing the job for FBI here in America, but that's okay. I don't mind doing it. Okay. I released a Substack this morning, and I encourage you to read it. Very short, to the point, making a point out of the point about the Strait of Hormuz. It's on my Substack, liveuptofreedom.substack.com. I want to talk about it because, well, no surprise to me, of course, but, well, the talks failed. Who would have thought that? Like, I was shocked when J.D. Vance said 20 hours and all that. I wasn't. I'm sure none of you were, because those of you who've been, around me were pretty familiar with the concept. Can we please put up the graphic number 4 real quick? But President Trump put this out, which I'm going to literally read. So, there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. I'm going to pause here and then continue reading. So again, when I go back to, I'm not trying to be mean or pick on him, but so there you have it. The meeting went well. Most points were agreed to, but the only point that really mattered, nuclear, was not. So did it go well or did it not go well? Because you just contradicted yourself within the same thing. And if your most important was nuclear, why were there other points in there? Moving on. Effective immediately, the United States Navy, the finest in the world, will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz. At some point, we will reach
Hello, I'm Brandon House. I want to thank you for all your support at wvwfoundation.com that helps make possible pushing out 24/7 content for free. Without your support, we'd have to put it all behind a paywall. But thanks to you and your support through our foundation, we're able to push it out for free as a broadcast service and broadcast ministry of WVW Foundation. Please consider going there and setting up an automatic monthly contribution, or go there and make an occasional contribution. If you prefer to support us through the mail, you'll find our mailing address there at wvwfoundation.com. You can also call and make your contribution over the phone by calling 901-825-0652. That's 901-825-0652. Again, all these details are available at wvwfoundation.com. Thank you for your support as we try to help people around the world understand the times through the lens of a Christian worldview.
But with Brandon, it's always cutting edge stuff happening in the world, and it's not just from the political angle, because you can get that on other platforms, but it's always from the biblical angle. So you're dealing with a guy that loves Jesus, you're dealing with a guy that's very intelligent, you're dealing with a guy that is cutting edge conservatism, and you're dealing with a guy that wants to be biblical all at the same time. And so for that reason alone, I hope many, many people will not just lift up his ministry in prayer, but will also financially get behind it, because from the angle I'm trying to describe, he really is the only game in town. And we desperately need it in these last days. Can I get an amen to that?
Do you like drinking toxins that could cause cancer, inflammation, and all kinds of other autoimmune diseases? Of course you don't. Well, much of our water in America is full of toxins. That's a proven fact. WorldviewWater.net. WorldviewWater.net is your solution so that you can drink good, clean water. In fact, I give it to all my 3 fur babies, all my 3 dogs. I have one under my kitchen sink, one of these filters, as well as on my shower. WorldviewWater.net.
And we are back. I apologize. I am working as hard as I can to replace this laptop so we don't face this issue. And believe it or not, I don't do anything with this laptop except when I do my show, or when I'm on Brandon's show, or I'm on somebody else's show. But the laptop is so old that it just dies. But we're back. Okay, where were we? We were talking about the bipolar post confusing everybody of President Trump. So everything went well, but then it didn't go well because we didn't agree on the nuke part. And then effective immediately, we're going to blockade. Our Navy, the finest in the world, is going to blockade. We can read the rest, but we don't need to. I was actually wrapping that up. That was the main reason I wrote my Substack today, because, again, I just touched on it, that he likes the controversial aspect of things. But the truth of the matter is, as you know, I've been fighting against the regime in Iran and IRGC pretty much all of my adult life, all part of my childhood too. But the point is,
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brandon House.
2 years ago, whatever was 100% of my traffic to my website It's been crashed by 95%. That's stunning to me. Mostly Google has done it, but other actors as well. What's happening on a global basis, there's a war against free speech. It's not just an incidental thing, oh, we just want to shut somebody up. That's not it. This is an orchestrated, top-down war against free speech. All the things you have coming out of Worldview Tube and Weekend, etc., all of these things are expression of free speech. And I can dare say that their traffic has been hammered as well. If they're successful, these masters of tyranny, if these people are successful shutting down free speech, we're all dead at that point, basically, because that's where the killing is going to start. This is what's on the chopping block right now. The reason you look at this organization just because you could get something out of it, right? You should look at this organization as an organization that needs to support just to keep free speech alive, period. Who are you going to turn to at this point if this voice was silenced? Where would you go? Newsmax? Give me a break. No. Fox News? No. So I want to encourage you, support the foundation, support Brandon's work here any way that you can.
Welcome back to me. We're going to try a different thing. Hopefully it can carry to the end of the show. But if it doesn't last for the next 10 minutes, I want you to know I appreciate you being here. I want to invite you to support my work through my website and my Substack. I'm going to say goodbye 10 minutes early. I don't even know what's going to happen next. But I'm going to conclude on my thoughts. A Strait of Hormuz is not in chaos. A Strait of Hormuz is not even closed. There is no blockade to blockade. The entire narrative is exhausting for those of us who are very aware of where things stand. And that's why I wrote the Substack. I'll ask you to go ahead and read that Substack. It gives you as much clarity as I wish President Trump had, or at least somebody would write for him instead of him, because I'm sure there are those who are like, that's not what he meant. When you say talks went well, but effective immediately we're blockading Strait of Hormuz, that is what we call a mixed signal to leave you exit a strategy, not from war, but from any scrutiny when it comes to the people. So that's just where things are at. It's the Strait of Hormuz was never completely blocked by Iran. Neither can U.S. completely block it. That's not even what we're doing. We're not closing the strait. We're not blockading the blockade. We're playing a power struggle as I closed my Substack in the same way. What's happening in the Strait of Hormuz is not a collapse of the strait. Neither is a collapse of oil industry. No, it's a power struggle that shouldn't be there from neither side. Strait of Hormuz historically did not belong to a country or a military or a navy, and it should continue that way. And when you look expanded beyond what Truth Social is saying through Trump or what the Iran media is saying, when you look at it, again, facts, history, things that I like to do, if you look at it that way, you'll see the track. It is not a chaos. Everything is not falling apart. Everybody calm down, take a deep breath. What we're witnessing is United States of America versus IRGC in a power struggle to make a scenario that should not even be on the table. Both sides are doing the same thing. This does not take away any blame from IRGC, for the record, if anybody's going to cut this out of context. I am not taking a drop of blame off of IRGC at all. What I am saying is the coordinated fight, the coordinated strategy would have stayed one from day one. Instead of drifting our objectives from Israel, we wouldn't be here today. Because without IRGC, there's no need for anybody to reset everything that's happening in the Strait of Hormuz and talk about reset. There's another post that Trump put out that's going very unnoticed, which was posted fairly close to when the controversial got hit. Can we post, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me, the one-liner, the great reset, I think is what he said. Can we just put that up quickly? I want to say number 2, graphic number 2, I think. But there you go, powerful reset. Oh, world's most powerful reset, President Donald J. Trump. Again, everybody's going to translate this into historical reset.
You're watching Worldview 2, built on the 35 years of Worldview books, documentaries, research, high-profile interviews, and the radio and television broadcasts of Brannon House.
What if millions around the world could access Bible teaching and worldview training for free right now without hitting a paywall? That's exactly what happens every day at worldviewtube.com because of the Worldview Weekend Foundation. We don't lock our live stream behind PayPal. We don't restrict our content to members only. Instead, the Worldview Weekend Foundation helps cover the cost of delivering free educational and ministry programming to people across the nation and around the world. And it's not just programming. My Sunday night church service, where I taught verse by verse through Revelation for 18 months, and now I am teaching through the